All right. Well, Ryan Hunter and BJ McKay here, and we're talking esports gaming, in particular, Next Level Gaming League. And this is a league that we're going to talk much more about here in the next several minutes, co-founded by Ryan Hunter, Brandon Coppernall, who's not here, and myself, who I call the least of his people as it relates to gaming. And we're going to navigate a few questions that we think will clarify what we're trying to do here. And whether you're a parent or whether you're a student who is super into gaming, hopefully we can navigate through these questions and give you a good sense of what we're trying to build with this and what the whole purpose of the program is. So, Ryan, if someone approached you and said, what is Next Level Gaming League? What would you respond?
So Next Level Gaming League is really taking esports and integrating some soft skills that we know that students may not get if they're just gaming hour upon hour at home. We're really intentional about character building, leadership, teamwork, communication, all of those skills that a student would receive in a normal sport. And we think integrating them into esports is a great idea and a great exposure for students who may not be interested in traditional sports or who may not be, ready to go out for the team there.
Okay. So if my son plays video games and my daughters are into like Roblox, for instance, and there's a social aspect to the game when I watch them play, right? I mean, they have the headphones on and they're talking, if we can call it talking, that they're doing on there. So the fact that they can connect at that level, what would be different about doing that within the context of Next Level Gaming League versus what maybe they experience at home or on a Saturday morning?
Well, I think all three of us have kids that play games, and we know that they're connecting with friends. I would hope that other parents would know the friends that they're connecting with online and making sure that they're playing safely with other people. I think there's something different than playing at home versus playing in person with people that you're sitting around a table with. You can pick up some of the facial expressions that you wouldn't be able to get if you're playing online. You can get some feedback from your partner who's sitting right next to you playing in the same game as you. And you're getting coaching from individuals who not only love gaming like Brandon and I do, but also have something else to impart to the kids, some other skills that will help them be better gamers, but will also translate into other things that they do in life.
Yeah, and I like that. When we were talking about this idea, I think that with my career at Advisa, I see engineers, programmers. I work with folks that are trying to elevate themselves through the ranks in different leadership contexts. And it's always disheartening when you find someone who has just amazing intellectual capacity, terrific technical skill and depth, and they can see patterns, and their IQ is probably off the charts, but they can't navigate the communication landscape, the emotional intelligence landscape, and they end up hitting a glass ceiling pretty hard. And it's unfair here because so-and-so is getting promoted and I'm not getting promoted, and they can't accept accountability. They're unaware that it's their behavior amidst other people. It's their inability to actually lead that's causing that.
Absolutely. And you mentioned listening to your kids playing these games right at home. If you're listening to how they're communicating with their friends, there's usually a lot of yelling, a lot of unintelligible mumblings and like, what's going on? Why can't my friend do this, or why can't they do that? And I think having someone guide them on better ways to do that, and they're going to become better gamers through that. And I think that's what the kids are going to grab onto. It's fun for them. They're playing with their friends and they're learning. They're growing and winning more games than they would at home. And just a side note on that, like when COVID started, I started playing with my 11-year-old, 8-year-old, and 5-year-old. And we did the squad format that we're going to be doing in this first season of Next Level Gaming. We won 75 or 80 matches over that period of time, playing a couple times a day, just because we were working together. We were in the same room. What we're going to do this first season, we were talking about self-awareness and who's better at what thing and how our team is better if we acknowledge each other's strengths and weaknesses, and we kind of play off of those. So we did a lot of that during COVID, and I think that's what I want to bring, and that's what I envision will happen during this first season.
Yeah, and I love that approach because I love the fact that you played off what you just watched, and then when you inserted yourself in there, someone I know to have a high level of character, self-awareness. You brought that kind of formation in there, and everyone had a better experience because of it. And when I see the games that are coming out now, if of all the things they build in, the biggest problem I find just as a parent who doesn't game with video games is that they are so awesome. I mean, they are so addictive. They're so awesome. They're so much better than when I stopped playing, which I think was like Nintendo 64. Like GoldenEye came out that's when things almost started getting social. In my mind, it just like took off and left. Like I couldn't keep up anymore. So the one thing I found that is missing from the games is this element of responsibility. That like it's not the skin that you wear, this cool like gadget and gizmo and all the money the kids put into the game. It's a landscape where you can actually build and develop. They're developing that one skill, whatever it is. If be it Fortnite or be it Minecraft or these other things, there is a sense of that building. But considering yourself, they're in that virtual world, and I think one of the things I see happening through Next Level is we're bringing the human element in. We're bringing that team. There's going to be somebody next to me. There's going to be a coach or a guide that's kind of drawn the thread line through that, like, all right, here we're going to learn something about each other at the front end, an analog style, if you will, right? Together. And then that's going to come through the other end. It's like, hey, how did that pan out for you at the end? How did what you see? And then even the questions that get baked in as you walk through, what am I going to do differently next time? Or how am I going to share that differently if I was communicating something to Ryan and it didn't go right? Am I saying it 3 times louder? Is that the best mode to do that? Or is there some other disconnect? Does Ryan not know how to do what I'm at? Like, there's all these questions that take them to a level deeper that I think are going to help in relationships outside of gaming. In school, in the classroom, and even in learning. Like, how did I learn? I mean, if you're watching this and you're a parent and you have kids, have you ever watched their hands move on a remote control with all those buttons? I mean, it's just, I'm like, how did you learn that? How did you do that? Well, the same thing's going on between their ears. There's so many other things they can learn about better articulating themselves, being clear, being fair, showing grace to other people, having some empathy and compassion, patience. The fact that when you're hurrying, you're more likely to make mistakes. Well, I need to go quick. Well, that's process. Get better, whether it's building something in Fortnite, if you're stacking and you're building, or my son shared this with me. It's like, well, I'm like, how did you do that? Well, I learned to do this because this kept happening to me, and I would get knocked out early and I couldn't help my team. I'm like, all right, great. There's a perfect example of it. So if that question we're kind of boxing up right now is, what is next level gaming? Is there anything else you think either students that would be considering this or parents should know?
I think specifically for this season, I think parents should know that we're taking every precaution to be as safe as we can with your student. If you entrust them in our league, we're going to be making sure that everything is sanitized, and we're going to have covers on the mics, and making sure that we're limiting the number of students at one given time inside the arena that we're going to call it. And your kid's going to have a blast. Like, we're going to talk about the process soon, what each game is going to look like, what each session is going to look like. But the kids are going to have a blast. They're going to be learning things. They're going to be applying things that they didn't realize before about themselves, and learning about other people who are on their team. That's just going to make a great experience for them.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. And then and I would caveat that if you were going to capture this in just a few words, it's self-awareness, self-development, emotional development, communication, confidence, and leadership on the canvas of esports would be how I would kind of synthesize these if I was a parent thinking, why am I investing in this? We've already invested in the gaming and all these games come out. I think this is going to, I guess, pun intended, level up or take to the next level their at-home gaming experience. And hopefully you would see after a season your child talking differently when they're at home playing those games, or I feel like we might not have done as good a job as we had hoped. So thanks, Ryan. And if you're listening, more video games to come, not more video games, more podcasts to come, excuse me. There are video games to come. And if you're watching this on the site, you should find a way to register. On there, it should be very clear on how to register your student or to ask questions to Ryan, Brandon, or myself that we may not have tackled in today's show. Thanks, Ryan.